Okay, so today we have a clip here of Dim Tool talking about the recent incident that happened on an Alaskan Airlines flight where part of a plane, while it was in midair, literally got ripped off. So for those of you that are not aware of the story, really quick here, quick little spiel. An Alaskan Airlines flight was forced to make an emergency landing after a window blew out in midair. An Alaska Airlines flight traveling from Portland, Oregon to Ontario, California had to make an emergency landing Friday night after a portion of the aircraft blew out midair. Alaska Airlines flight 1282 left Portland International Airport at 4:52 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, according to the public flight tracking website FlightAware. The aircraft returned to Portland and landed safely a little before 5:30 p.m. Social media video obtained by CBS News appeared to show that one of the passenger window panels had been blown out. This is a picture of what happened right here. Nobody was actually, no one got sucked out of the plane or anything like that. Some people's stuff did actually wind up flying out. Some people's phones, some other items flew out. The aircraft reached approximately 16,000 feet about 6 minutes into the flight before beginning its descent. The jet had 174 passengers and 6 crew members. In a statement provided to CBS News, Alaska Airlines said that flight number 1282 experienced an incident this evening soon after departure and landed safely back in Portland, but did not elaborate. Immediately after the incident, the pilot radioed to the air traffic controller, declaring that the flight had depressurized. We are declaring an emergency. And since then, all Boeing 737 MAX 9s have been grounded. And Tim Pool, the airplane expert, went on his show to cover this story, and instead of blaming the company like Boeing, the company that produces the planes that have had their planes grounded before, not for the sides of them being blown out, but for other safety reasons or incidents, said that really, what happened here was because of diversity, equity, and inclusion. No, I'm not making that up. Here is Tim Pool, again, airplane expert, saying that this whole entire thing was, because, of diversity.
I'd like to jump to this story from Forbes. Cockpit voice recorder on Alaska Airlines Flight 1282 was erased. All right, so a few days ago, there was an Alaskan Airlines flight from Portland to Ontario, Canada. It was, no, it was Ontario, California, I think it was. Yeah. I don't know, whatever. A section of the plane exploded and was ripped off the plane. I'm being a little hyperbolic. The pressure caused it to blow off the side of the plane. A couple cell phones flew out. A bunch of people's stuff, I guess, flew out the depressurized cabin. The oxygen masks come down. The initial report was that a window blew out. Then you look at the video. I don't know if they have the video on the Forbes website, but you look at the video. It was actually, apparently these 737 MAX 9s have an optional door. Alaska Airlines says, we don't want a door there, so just cover it up. And the pressure caused it to get ripped off the plane and go flying and landed in someone's backyard.
The part of the plane did actually land in a person's backyard.
Cockpit voice recorder on that flight was erased. The question is why? Now they'll come on and say, oh, it was just an accident. It's an accident. But I wonder if there's actually some malfeasance in that right now it's an argument that the planes are no good. Following this report, we've got new information that loose bolts are found on door plugs on grounded United Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 9 jets. These door plugs are areas of the plane. They're not emergency exits. They're optional. Some they do use, some they don't. I'm wondering how much of this is actually the planes are bad, or are we looking at a diversity hire problem where we have these pilots who are incapable of doing their jobs, and so you're getting pilot error. Maybe the cabin was pressurized incorrectly, causing the door to blow out.
Look, okay, I don't know shit about planes. I'm not going to sit here and claim I do. I was on a plane when I was 1 or 2 years old. Don't remember it. But, Tim, it's not the pilot's fucking, I don't understand how he thinks that the cabin wasn't pressurized correctly, and it's the pilot's job to do that. He has no idea what he's talking about.
They're then yelling in the cockpit, what did you do? What did you press? Oh no, I pressed the wrong button. And then they realize we will get in trouble and be sued.
Does he think that they have a button that will just make part of the plane blow out? He literally just said on his show that one of the pilots pressed the wrong thing and that made part of the plane get ripped off. Does he think that there's a button that you can just press as a pilot and it will just fucking make part of the plane blow off? Tim Pool thinks that pilots have buttons that they can press that will make the fucking plane, I don't know, like to self-destruct? What the fuck? Also, I'm not 100% on this. I'm not 100% on this, but I don't think, this is just me, but I don't think all of these airlines have enough storage or space to keep every single voice recording of the pilots and what they say and the air traffic control. I don't think that they keep every single fucking flight log like that. And if they do, I mean, they are taking up so much storage and server space. If that's the case, I don't know, but I feel like, and again, I probably should have done more research. You want to know what? I'm just going to look it up right now. I'm going to look up if it is like standard for airlines to keep their audio for an extended period of time, cockpit audio or whatever. Let's actually look it up because I am quite curious. I have no idea. Again, you know, I don't know. I don't even know what to look up here, but I am quite curious if if they keep these audio recordings. So I guess I'm gonna look up, do airlines keep audio recordings on this stuff? So the National Transportation Safety Board is saying that planes are supposed to be equipped with technology to record So, right now, according to this CNN article, cockpit voice recorders only record 2 hours at a time. The National Transportation Safety Board chair wants it to be 25 hours. But that's because okay, so I was kind of right. They have an extremely short memory span. Investigators will never know exactly what the Alaska airline pilots were saying last week in the chaotic, loud first moments after a door plug blew off a Boeing 737 MAX 9, leaving a hole in the side of its fuselage shortly after takeoff. That's because the cockpit voice recorder, one of the virtually indestructible so-called black boxes on board every airliner, has a critical weakness: a short memory span. Under U.S. standards, cockpit voice recorders, or CRVs, are set up to record on a 2-hour loop. As each cycle repeats, a previous audio is overwritten with new sound. Wow, it's crazy. It's fucking crazy that Tim Pool mysteriously didn't want to mention this or didn't want to talk about this when he's doing his totally not conspiracy theory, totally not super weird, totally not completely fucking off the wall, goddamn bonkers, stupid claim that this is a diversity hire problem that allowed for this to happen.
If people find out what we admitted to here, so they erase the black box voice recorder.
He seriously thinks that the pilots have a button that made that made that part of that plane fly off. He really thinks that. He believes that. That's so sad. That's pathetic. The more pathetic thing is that people believe what he says and they eat that shit up. Brainwashed. The people that believe Tim Pool are brainwashed. This is absurdly stupid.
So then it's oops, we have no idea. It must just be the planes are no good. Ashley St. Clair.
There are so many. Boeing didn't. There was some. I don't know when it was, in 2019 or 2020. Boeing's planes were grounded for something that happened. I don't remember what it was, but this has happened not this specifically. I'm not saying like this, but Boeing has had to ground their planes before. This has happened before. Was it diversity, equity, and inclusion then? Was it? There's been a very large focus in the past 4 years on diversity, equity, and inclusion, rightfully so, or the past 5 years, really. But I didn't hear them complaining about it when Boeing had to ground their planes back in 2019 or 2020, whenever it was. So if it wasn't back then, how is it this now? Connect the dots for me, Tim. Seriously. Because you're just pulling shit out of your ass, and it's ridiculous.
Was tweeting about a flight that landed from Newark, New Jersey, and it bounced on the runway, hard landing, nearly totaling the plane. I think the plane is disabled.
That's I don't know how anybody can listen to this guy and take him seriously. The plane bounced. If you go and look at any, again, I don't remember being on a plane, and I haven't been on one since I was very little. But you go look at any fucking footage of a plane landing. When it hits the runway, it kind of does a little, I mean, it doesn't like bounce like that, but if you watch a plane land, seriously, go look up any fucking commercial airliner landing. They kind of bounce when they hit the runway. I guess that one plane that the landing gear got messed up on, I don't remember when this was. It was a couple years ago. I guess that one plane that the landing gear got messed up on, and they had to land, and when they landed, the landing gear caught on fire because the front wheels were turned. I guess that was a diversity problem, right? Diversity hire problem, right? It wasn't the fact that, maybe equipment just malfunctions sometimes. Like, I mean, it's probably not the best example, but my computer that I make videos on, I have problems with that shit all the time. I have problems with my PC all the time. It's called not everything is going to work 100% of the time. And sometimes that is human error. Sometimes it's just because something went wrong, okay? It has nothing to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion, Tim. Take the beanie off, Tim. Come on. Take the beanie off. Let's be real for a second.
It, like the fuselage looks like it was bent and cracked up. And according to Ashley St. Clair, or I should say, she asked whether or not this was a diversity hire who was fired and then rehired, even though they shouldn't have been.
What?
We got a pilot shortage. Flight cancellations like crazy. Are
You
these?
want to know? Yeah, there's reasons for that pilot shortage. And this is, again, something it's very well documented. Pilots and their work schedules, pilots have talked about how hard and how draining and how fucking just how much it can take a toll on you working for some of these airlines, because they work these motherfuckers to death. And that's not just for pilots, that's all over the world for all different types of jobs. It's just the things that some of these conservatives say are so goddamn ridiculous. I can't even take it seriously. I can't even sit here and actually respond to it, because some of it is just so fucking stupid. And there's no other word to describe it. There's no other words that can describe it. It's just stupidity. Pure, raw, unfiltered stupidity that they're posting online themselves. So, I have every right to say whatever I want about it.
Airlines hiring in large numbers, and are they hiring for diversity? Because we know Boeing's all about it. Take a look at this. Global Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Report.
Confirmed. They have a thing on their website that says a thing. It confirmed it was diversity, equity, inclusion. That's why the plane got blown up. That's why part of the plane got blown out. Confirmed. Look at this thing they have on their website. This confirms what Tim Pool said. 100%. 100% confirmed. This is like every fucking big company has some shit like this on their website. You could go onto McDonald's website and you'll see something like this. They'll have something that says something like this. Boeing's all about it. What? How are these people in this room not laughing at him? I know that they all probably believe the same thing, but fuck.
I'm wondering if what's really happening is the infrastructure failures we're seeing are due to the fact that all of these companies for the past decade plus have been prioritizing hiring based on ideology instead of...
No, they don't. No, it's not that, you fucking moron. It's called they don't care about anything but money. That's what it is. They care about money. That's it. End of story. If a big corporation can find a way to cut costs, even at the safety of their employees or their patrons, they are going to do it. You cannot be this ignorant. I refuse to believe that Tim Pool is this ignorant. Okay, I don't refuse to believe. I believe it. I believe it now. I changed my mind. But just how can you be this ignorant? That's what I meant to say. How can someone be this goddamn ignorant? It's about money, Tim. It's all about money. That's it. End of story.
Meritocracy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we have that terrible transportation secretary, right? Pete Buttigieg, who has no reason to have his job. I mean,
yeah. Oh God. I should have known. I should have known they were going to somehow pull it back. Of course, they had to, right? Yeah, Pete Buttigieg, Secretary of Transportation. He's a diversity hire, right? Because he's gay, right? Because he's gay, right? He's a gay dude. So, you know, and they hired him only because the Biden administration gave him that job only because he's gay. That's the only reason they gave Pete Buttigieg that job. So clearly, you know, everything that they've said so far makes perfect sense. It all has to go. It all starts at the top, right? They have a gay dude, Pete Buttigieg, as the Secretary of Transportation, and you know, it just trickles down, right? Just trickles down, and then you know, planes start exploding because of the gay dudes. Damn. It all makes sense now. She totally made it make sense for me. Connected those dots. That's what I was saying earlier. Totally got it all down.
This system is failing both privately and in terms of the government.
It's also interesting, just as you know, a consumer, how much worse airline travel has gotten since 2020. It's terrible. It's terrible. Flights get canceled all the time. I literally, just this past weekend...
And it has nothing to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion. It just has nothing to do with that.
I had a flight somewhere, and the airline canceled my flight morning of and rerouted it to a different city. They're like, hey, like a city that was like an hour away. I was like,
they're like, close enough. Have a good time.
You can't just like send me somewhere else. That's not.
Hey man, do you know there are so many different reasons that flights might get canceled? Like there are so many reasons that your flight might get canceled or rerouted. I don't know this guy's specific case as to why, but there could have been storms at the place that he was trying to get to that they can't fly the plane during that. There's so many different reasons that a flight might get canceled. These are the most absurdly stupid anecdotes that they are positioning to use as a, I guess, gateway for saying DEI is bad. It's ridiculous. Oh, this guy's flight got rerouted to a city that was an hour away. Well, it tells you everything you need to know about airlines these days. Just don't care about anything except for hiring people based on an ideology. It's proof right there. This dude went to somewhere else on a plane. Yeah.
I was trying to fly.
So I had a flight from Vegas.
Okay, I'm not gonna listen to these fucking people just tell really, really small anecdotes of you know, one time they were inconvenienced at an airport. Guys, please let me know what you thought of Tim Pool and company. You know, claiming that you know these planes they have safety problems. It's because they hire gay people. It's because they hire black people. It's the truth. It's the truth. Please let me know what you thought. That's going to be it for this video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, press that bell, turn on all notifications so you guys never miss an upload.